What are the real dangers of Huawei AI? Why is the Trump administration looking to ban this big tech company? And what are the Europeans and the world getting wrong? Join me for a fourth episode of the AI Organization. Let's begin. Welcome to the AI Organization. I am Cyrus A. Parsa, your host. We begin with Huawei AI. What are the dangers of this company? And why is the whole world talking about Huawei, 5G, and its interconnection on the BRI? BRI is the One Belt, One Road. And most importantly, why is the Trump administration looking to ban this company? And why is it the Europeans are giving the US administration a bit of trouble and compromising, coordinating with this company? First of all, let's begin with the CEO and founder of Huawei. His name is Ren Zhengfei. He is a Communist Party official. He swore allegiance to the regime. That means for his entire life, he's beholden and promised that everything he does is for the good of the regime, of the dictatorship, the Orwellian system that exists in China. And as everyone knows, China's been known to have a lot of concentration camps, quite a few to be exact. So Ren Zhengfei is the CEO. He is the founder, and he has a direct relation with the government of China, with Xi and the previous clique, in particular, Jiang Zemin. So again, what is the danger of this company? Well, it is in more than 170 countries, more than 1,500 networks, and it serves over 3 billion people. It is not simply about these smartphones. You will go to the store and you will see Huawei phones, and they're supposed to be mobilized on the 5G network. But Huawei is not limited to your cell phones. They do grid system, cloud systems. They're building robotics, drones. They're working on facial recognition, voice recognition, all sorts of biometric systems, and they're getting into finance as well. But everyone thinks it's just Huawei. It is not. Huawei is simply a front company for all the other Chinese companies that exist behind Huawei that are controlled by the Chinese government. One of these companies will be Censor. They deal with AI, facial recognition, all sorts of biometrics. In addition, MakeV Face++ is another company. The interconnection of these companies connect with Baidu, which is one of the largest search engines in the world. They're the Google of China. The list goes on. There are numerous other companies that we'll get into in the later episodes. For now, Huawei is on the BRI, One Belt, One Road. What does that really mean? Well, the BRI, it is the old Silk Road. The Silk Road connected Persia to China and to Europe. So this interconnection basically galvanized the ancient world. There were a lot of positives, but the negatives was the Mongols came and raped about 90% of the Persian people and killed them, in addition to the Romans. There's a lot of turmoil in the Middle East that comes from the Mongol invasions. Previous to that, there were Arab invasions and the Greek invasions and so on. For this specific episode, we're going to stick with AI and the dangers of Huawei. But you must know the historic importance of this, because Huawei is building the new Silk Road connecting to Iran, which is ancient Persia, to Europe, and to Africa, They're in Zimbabwe and multiple other African countries. So their ploy is actually social engineering. Now let me explain what that means. China has 1.5, 1.6 billion people. A lot of them are not fed. You have maybe 200 million people that have money. The rest are not doing too well. So think about it. Why is Huawei going to all these countries, especially in Africa, building them roads, loaning them money, promising them education when they're not doing it for their own people and putting them in concentration camps? Are the Chinese really that nice? Is the government of China that nice that they care about their African people? Now, there is a history of the Chinese communist regime calling Africans apes, calling Middle Easterners, Israelis, Arabs, and Persians rodents, calling Europeans, white people, pigs. I'm going to get a little deep in this episode. You could ask Chinese that have been close to this regime and Chinese who are not afraid to speak up. The Chinese regime, it's a communist regime. It's been known to have killed over 100 million people the past almost 70 years since its inception. The killing was through revolution, to hangings, persecution, and their platforms to spread their different types of economic ways of socialism, which didn't work. So a lot of people died of hunger. There were cities that people ate each other. That means even they ate people's kids. So they wouldn't eat their own kid, they'd swap their kids. This is fact. You can look this up. So the Chinese regime has all the blood of this history in their hand. And they really mistreat their own people. And what they do is they mobilize think tanks, scholars, and the people they sent to America and the West to promote that China is great. And when people visit the country, they're super nice to Westerners. They social engineer you and are really, really kind to you. So you think everything's good in the country, but you don't see 1.5 billion people. You don't see the concentration camps. You don't see the organ trafficking. You don't see the organ harvesting. So, what is the danger of AI in the hands of Huawei that's connected to the Chinese government, that's ruling the BRI? BRI, one by one word. Are Africans safe? What happens when the Chinese government, to Huawei and other companies, builds an infrastructure in Africa that has drones, machines, robotics connected to 5G networks and its Orwellian system? What happens to Europe when they merge their companies together or take money? Elon Musk is borrowing $1.2 billion from China so he can have his little Tesla factory in Shanghai. Basically, he's dooming his own company, and he doesn't realize it. China thinks long-term. Chinese think long-term. They do asset takeover in a very systematic way. It's not short-term. By cooperating with the Chinese corporations, you're cooperating with the Chinese government. By investing or getting investment, you're cooperating and you're dooming your future. Now, let me explain this further. The Chinese military supersedes anything, any corporation, including their security apparatus. So at any time, their military can be dispatched. So when you have robotics, drones, all different kind of things in the 5G networks, they have a rule system, a systematic process that is going to be designed for the cloud system, for everything, even your social media apps. So in China, people use Alipay. You have to show your face in order to pay for something. If you want to go from one city to another city, you have to have a special pass. They scan you. You can't even get on a train without approval. That's their own people. So if they go to Africa and they're calling Africans apes behind the scenes, what do you think they're going to do to the African people? Europeans, they're using them. And these tech engineers and these CEOs in Europe, they're really interested in the technology. They want to have this 5G system. They care about growing their businesses. They care about improving the technology, but they also they're excited and they want to grow the fame. They want to go to these lectures and say, I am CEO this, or I am PhD this, I am tech engineer this. And they want to collaborate with these Chinese that have been sent there. But the problem here is not this collaboration process. The problem is that all of this is rooted in the government of China and their regime. There's a monstrous regime that puts people in concentration camps, rapes people, is known to organ traffic. It's not just the Uyghur Muslims. It's not just the Falun Dafa. It's not just the Christians. It's not just the Tibetans and other minority groups. It's not just for people that have a faith. They go after judges. They go after journalists. They go after the common citizen. They want your land. They go after you. Even beyond that. So in Hong Kong, they have gone in there and they have gone over to different corporations and they're Hong Kong CEOs. There's 3 of them. They'll go over there. They'll do an asset takeover. So they'll go in there and say, here, we're adding this person to your committee. He's going to be our liaison. Next thing you know, he gets on the bank statements and so on, and one of your other CEOs gone. Then it's you and him. Then you're gone. That's how they do it. That's how they roll in Hong Kong. And that's why all the Hong Kong people are protesting, because they know it's a dictatorship. So, what would happen to Europe? Imagine if Huawei connects to a digital AI brain. That digital AI brain connects to the quantum technology, mobilizes drones, machines, robotics, all on the 5G network, including their military and their cybernetically enhanced soldiers and their bioengineered people or other things that they're working on. So this interconnection with 5G is numerous, and it's not just Huawei. It's very big. You can walk out of your home and a facial recognition will see you. And it's not just about ordering you a taxi or it's about decoding you and saying if you're resistant to the AI system or you're for it. If you're resistant to Huawei or you're for it. If you're resistant to the Chinese government or you're for it. Now, I'll explain in other episodes how this actually works. This is very, very deep. I'm trying to condense a very, very big concept here that few people understand and few people have disclosed. So Huawei is a very, very dangerous company. But it's not just Huawei, as I said. It's numerous companies and institutes behind Huawei that are social engineering these Europeans. Most importantly, the European leaders, they don't like President Trump. Okay? They don't like him. And what's happening is that emotion of disliking President Trump is dooming them. Look at the content. Look at what President Trump is saying. Look at what the administration, look at the evidence. That's what they need to do. They need to care about their own people, about the Europeans. Are they going to give away the glorious history over 1,000 years of castles, museums, beautiful vineyards, all these beautiful places? Do they really want to give it to Huawei's infrastructure so an AI system can develop and become artificial general intelligence or artificial superintelligence and completely dominate Europe? Think about it. What's the French president doing? Is he thinking straight? Emmanuel? What is Merkel doing? Does she care about the German people? What are the European leaders doing? What will happen to Europe? Let alone Africa, which is not as developed. They can be abused even more. Do you want to give a 5G system to a regime that calls white people pigs, Africans apes, Israelis, Arabs, and Persians rodents, kills its own citizens? Are you out of your mind? You're crazy? The European people must stand up now. They need to tell their leadership, Macron, the German Chancellor, enough is enough. You're going to doom your own people. People have to understand the seriousness of Huawei. And I've been tweeting this, sending reports that have gone to different agencies, and all my articles have been available for the White House to read. And a lot of different places have read them. So I hope people can share this episode in a very, very strong way. And you can comment all you like. You can be positive, negative. I did this episode to warn Europe and Africa and other people that the dangers of Huawei are multidimensional, multifaceted. It can endanger humanity on the BRI. Please share, subscribe, and if you like, contribute. Until next time, this is Cyrus A. Parsa, the AI Organization. Thank you.